Well, good morning, everyone. It is 6 a.m. on this Monday morning. Time to rise and shine. Thanks so much for starting off your day with us here on Up with KREM. I'm Channing Curtis. And let's get you started with a look at the forecast for today because, man, Thomas, it was an absolutely beautiful weekend. But, you know, today we're getting a few sprinkles, at least up here on the South Hill.
Yep, it's just been so far pretty light, just a few sprinkles. And it's not just here at the South Hill. I mean, most everyone in the inland Northwest is getting some form of rainfall right now as our next storm front is going to knock down temperatures, but is going to give us plenty of rainfall for today. So we're going to jump right into Doppler radar. Let's pause the loop right now at 6 a.m. and dive into Spokane County. Rain is covering the entire county. Same over Kootenai County, same for Bonner County, same for Boundary County. I mean, this is a widespread rainfall all throughout the inland Northwest as I recenter the map here. And again, it has just filled in after about 4 a.m. and we're expecting about 6 to 8 hours worth of rainfall here. Most of it is pretty light, but it is going to be quite wet as you hit the roads this morning.
All right, speaking of the roads, we're taking a look at US 195 and Thorpe Road right now. As you can see out through this traffic cam, those roads are pretty slick right now, so make sure that you're giving yourselves a little extra time this morning just in case. No other traffic concerns to report along this section of 195 at this time, but of course, as this rain continues throughout the morning, we'll keep an eye out on the traffic situation for you and let you know if anything changes. In an effort to combat wildfires, Avista is now on the receiving end of multi-million-dollar grants. KREM 2's Brandon T. Jones is joining us from the newsroom this morning with the latest. So, Brandon, how much is this grant worth and what will it be used on?
Well, Avista is getting $85 million for the Lolo Oxbow transmission upgrade and optimization project. Before we get into the specifics of what that project entails, the funding is a part of a federal grant coming from the Department of Energy's Grid Resilience and Innovation Partnerships program, authored by Senator Maria Canwell. As for the work being done with those funds, Avista and Idaho Power Company will be reconstructing a vital power line connecting the Pacific Northwest and mountain regions, using designs and materials that make the line more resistant to wildfires and also make outages more rare. The grant also states Avista plans to use drones to string the new lines, which will limit outages during construction. Overall, the grant will nearly cover 50% of the total cost for this project. But for now, in the newsroom, I'm Brandon T. Jones, KREM 2 News.
All right, at 6:03, let's take a look at some of today's other top stories as crews are now working to find out why a home under construction in Coeur d'Alene caught fire. Fire crews are saying that this home that you're looking at right now north of the Coeur d'Alene soccer complex is a complete loss. According to the Coeur d'Alene Fire Department, no one was injured. Well, after 6 days of searching, the U.S. Navy is declaring the 2 missing crew members of a downed jet dead. Yesterday, the Navy announced its crews have shifted from search and rescue to a recovery operation. The identities of the crew members will be withheld until 24 hours after their next of kin have been notified. Naval officials say the jet took off from Oak Harbor on Tuesday and crashed at 3:32 that afternoon east of Mount Rainier. The cause of the crash is still under investigation. Well, 4 people in Washington have tested presumptively positive for the bird flu. This after working with infected poultry at a commercial egg farm in central Washington. The Washington State Department of Health says that these workers are the first presumed human cases of the virus under investigation in the state. The workers are now on medication and must be tested by the CDC for final confirmation of infection. Washington is the 6th state to identify a human infection of bird flu. And that's a look at some of this morning's top stories.
I love all the people, I love the energy, I love coming home, and go Cougs! Go Cougs!
Well, it was a big day on the Palouse with Washington State Cougar fans and alumni from all over heading back to Pullman for the big homecoming weekend. And it's safe to say that WSU was full of former Cougs finding their way back home. And even clinching a bowl berth made the day even better for all those Coug fans. So, of course, let's talk about the big game as the Cougs faced Hawaii on Saturday for the homecoming game. Both teams were coming off of a loss to Boise State in their last matchups. The homecoming matchup, though, started with a Hawaii field goal in the first quarter, the only points that they would get there in the first half. The Cougs went on to score 3 unanswered touchdowns, making it 21-3 at the half. And the Cougs, well, they kept on marching. They go on to win this one 42-10, officially making the Cougs bowl eligible.
This win did come with a prize. You know, we're really proud. You know, I kind of just gave it up for those seniors. I mean, I think that means a lot to them. their time. We're already on that back half of the season. So to see those guys come out here, gut out a great win, a dominating win, and to get a bowl game along with it. But bottom line is every man in there is not satisfied.
The quickest to be bowl eligible that I've ever been, you know. So it's huge being here in week 7 and already being bowl eligible.
So the Cougs will now head to San Diego to face San Diego State next Saturday. Kickoff for their game is scheduled for 7:30 p.m. And don't forget that KSKN 22 is the spot for local college football, as you can still watch all of these upcoming games that WSU has on KSKN 22. And be sure to join us on November 9th to watch the Cougs take on Utah State on their home turf there in Pullman. Now, it was a very busy weekend in Pullman as a vision over 20 years in the making has now become a reality. The doors are now open for the new Taylor Sports Complex. And this morning, KREM 2's Christian Garza gives us an inside look.
Homecoming is about remembering and celebrating the past, but WSU Athletics is looking into the future with the opening of their new Taylor Sports Complex.
This is an exciting day, not just for WSU Athletics, but for Washington State University as a whole.
A day that has been 22 years in the making since the indoor practice facility, otherwise known as the Bubble, was built as a temporary facility for student athletes with the goal to one day have a permanent building like the Taylor Sports Complex.
We can now show recruits a reality to look forward to upon joining the Coug family.
Recruits like sophomore pole vaulter for WSU track and field, Eva Lauder, who at the time of her initial visit didn't think the vision for this complex would come to fruition in her time at WSU.
Thank you for investing in me, for investing in all of us athletes, for investing in the future of Washington State athletics.
The Taylor Sports Complex was completely funded through donations with more than 470 donors.
It was 20 years later that we realized the connecting force that was Cougar athletics.
One of those donors being the Taylor family, whose lead gift ultimately got this project off of the ground.
We decided to invest in this program's future with this sports complex. We know the world of college athletics is changing and changing rapidly. We need to keep up and invest in order not to be left behind.
This building has been the symbol of everything we've been going through.
WSU Athletics Director Ann McCoy says she gets emotional when she thinks of the new facility and how it's a sign of growth for the university, especially after the uncertainty earlier this year with the Pac-12 and the future for WSU Athletics.
With everything now also rebuilding and exciting and going forward with the Pac-12, it's like they just have come at the perfect time of a kind of a culmination of just, building and kind of, rebuild, if you will.
I even had the chance to ask Butch his thoughts on the new facility. How do you feel about the Taylor Sports Complex? Needless to say, he's excited.
It is 6:08 as we take a second look at our weather forecast here. Now, yesterday, 74 degrees, absolutely incredible weather. I had the windows open yesterday just to get some more fresh air into my place. Today, those are going to be shut. There already are as of this morning because the rain has already arrived. So hopefully you did take advantage of an absolutely beautiful weekend that we had because the cold front is only a couple hours away. That does mean, though, that the rain is going to stick with us for several hours as of this morning. Coming up, we're going to time out how long the rain is going to last today and just how much cooler conditions will be for this week.